I'm doing my project on business and social customs in Latin America. Doing business in Latin America, it's a little different than doing business in USA. Um, they don't like when Americans or people from the USA say they're Americans because technically they believe that if you're born in the American states, North America, South America, that you're truly an American. That kind of offends them. So you need to know what you're doing or what you're saying when you go in to meet with these people to do deals. Um, they also they tend to do business more with people they trust or they've known for a long time rather than venturing out. They believe that it's more important to know the people they're doing it with so they can trust them and that they feel more comfortable in a safer way that their investments are being properly used. Typically in America, to make it big, you kind of have to take the risk that involves maybe not your investment not going the right way. Um, Also in Latin America, it takes several meetings for a deal to go through, like multiple meetings, upwards of like 10 meetings to make sure a deal goes through at least, just so they are safe and secure and they feel very comfortable with what they're going to do. When doing business in America or in USA, um, they like you to be early, and early means being on time. So if you're 15 minutes early, you're on time, is what the rule we go by. Um, in business in America or in Latin America is very traditional. They they mix business and family. It's all the same thing to them. They believe that they unite as one. In the United States, business and family doesn't mix really well. For example, you don't typically see families doing business together because it tends to ruin families and money can break up families as well. And that's not like that in Latin America. Um, U.S. businessmen like to have everything written in contracts as well. They like everything to be written. As in Latin America, they don't. They take the word of the deal. They like to be written, but of course, but they believe the word as well. In Latin America, the social norms, time is kind of like a suggestion. It's not like a big essence. They tend to use it as a guide. If you're late to a meeting, you're not really late. You just get there when you can. Typically because traffic over there is really bad in some cities and in the big cities, and they aren't as strict about time as well either. Um, and the norms in Latin America as well. Of course, you probably know everybody loves a good tequila shot. So if you take your friends out, tequila is probably gonna be on the menu for that night. Um, and they also rely solely on tradition. They really like tradition. If something was set way back in the day, they really don't want to change it. They believe that it's been that way for a while and it's working. Why change it now? You really don't see too many new traditions coming up. They tend to just stick with the old ones. In the U.S., it's a little different. We're open to new ideas, changing things. For example, right now going on with all the, New Orleans, for example, with the statues and whatnot, people are willing to change it. They believe that if it happened a while back, you should just leave it be. In the United States, time is very important. Like I said earlier, if you're early, it's being 15 minutes on early is being on time. Even with the traffic in the big cities, you're expected to wake up earlier, get things done earlier, to get a better move on, things like that. Doing business abroad it's very difficult sometimes. You need to learn who you're doing business with. For example, in the United States, if we show up late to a deal, they tend to think that you're not interested or you don't want to be a part of it. In Latin America, that's okay. So you need to study who you're doing business with. For example, Latin America is different from China. China's different from Japan. They all differ in certain ways. So you need to know what you're doing, who you're dealing with, so you don't offend anybody. Make sure you know what they like, how to greet them, and things like that. To understand the cultural norms between countries, it's a very big deal, and you should probably learn them if you're going to start traveling a lot. For example, I'm going to Mexico soon, so we looked at a couple things that how to greet people, what they like to say, what they like to hear, things like that, because you don't want to offend anybody where they're in their place of living. So that's also another important thing you need to do as well. So if you're going to go ahead and travel or do business or anything abroad, you definitely need to make sure that you know who or what you're doing business with and what they like, just to make sure that everything goes as smoothly as possible.